Okay, I promised that I would record this video to answer some questions. I've got 4 questions that need answers, and so I think I might start doing these like Q&As as I get questions. And so I want to just jump right into them. The first question that Chosen One had was, if you need to be Christian to be a chaplain. And absolutely not. We have chaplains of all different faiths and even no faith. There are atheists, agnostic chaplains, there's pagan chaplains, there's obviously Christian chaplains, there's Muslim chaplains. Any faith tradition can be a chaplain. All you need to do is be serious about your faith tradition, humanist chaplains. I mean, you just have to be dedicated and have an orienting system. So what guides you in making decisions with your life? Because the truth of the matter is, there's someone just like you. There's someone who believes what you believe. And so it makes sense for a hospital or a hospice company to have a wide variety of traditions in their hospice, in their chaplain offerings, if I could talk. So that's question number 1. The question wasn't really a question. It was more of a statement. You were basically saying that you're a healer. You have a degree in biotech. Wonderful. You worked at a nursing home, but you found yourself in more what you felt like was a religious capacity serving them. So yeah, I think that kind of ties into the first one. I think that you have a heart for this work. So I just affirmed that as well. Then you said, would you have to get a master's degree? And this is a great question, because the truth of the matter is, yes, you would have to go back and get a master's degree. It's especially in my area. Now, if you live in some rural area where it's very difficult for them to find chaplains, you might be able to get away with that. But in a big city, no. The standard is they want you to have an MDiv or an equivalent degree. And it's an investment. And it's kind of funny because, as I mentioned before, we've got chaplains who are non-Christian. Getting an MDiv is a very Christian degree. So it's always weird to me, though, that they're like, oh, no, we want you to be all these things, but then they want you to have a Christian requirement. So I've been hearing that they're going to change that, but as of right now, that's the case, and that's the way it's been forever. So you would have to go back and get a master's degree. So, yeah, there's that. And also you wanted to know the salary. Now, this is a really good question. So let me back up again and talk about the requirements, because I think I cannot stress this enough. In order to get a chaplain position, there's typically 2 environments where you can be a chaplain: a hospital or a hospice. Hospices usually have less requirements than a hospital does. So let's start off with the hospice. So Medicare requires that if someone goes on hospice and they're paying for it, that hospice team must have a nurse, a social worker, a chaplain, a medical director that oversees everything. So whether they want to see a chaplain or not, a chaplain must be available. So that means that hospice is always looking to hire chaplains. They still require that you have a master's degree, typically. Some might take a bachelor's degree, like I said, in maybe some rural areas, but not in the city that I'm in. And they want you to have 1 unit of CPE. Remember, CPE is clinical pastoral education. That is 400 hours of basically volunteer time at a hospital. Okay. And there's a classroom component to it that's all about self-reflection and things of that nature. I think I've recorded a video on that. So in order to even qualify for a hospice job, you need a 3-year degree, master's degree, 400 volunteer hours, so CPE hours. And that's it. That's typically it. So that's on the hospice side. In a hospital, they want you to have 4 units of CPE. So 4 times 400 hours, that's 1,600 volunteer hours. You heard me right. 1,600 volunteer hours. And a master's degree. And a lot of times they want you to have doctoral work as well. So And they want you to be board certified, which is a whole nother conversation. So it is a significant investment in time, money, and education, all for me to get to this point about salary. Okay. In hospice and in hospitals, most chaplains start out at about $60,000. Okay. I don't know many chaplains who make more than that when they're just getting started. So you're at about $60K for all of that education. So this is why you want to be called to this work. I'm just like picking this as a career. I don't know why someone would do it, because you could make more money doing something else. I've surely made more money than what I'd be making in this role full time. So about $60,000. And so don't know if that's livable for you or if it's not, but that's just the truth. In a hospice environment, because you're driving around, you'll also get paid for mileage. But to me, mileage, getting reimbursed with the amount of miles that you're putting on your car, is not a big perk. It's not a big perk getting mileage reimbursed, because you're putting all this mileage on your car. Heck, and you're on the road and all types of stuff happens on the road. Literally just the other day, a rock hit my window shield, cracked my entire window shield. That ate up all the mileage that I would have even got paid, because my window shield to be replaced is $2,200. Fancy window shield, obviously. But it's just like, you see what I'm saying? There's expenses to that I just don't see the mileage reimbursement being that great. But here's what I do like about the hospice company that I work at. They do have fleet cars. There's a wait list for them, but you can typically, if you're a full-time employee, you can get one of the fleet cars. And that's a much better deal, because you're not putting mileage on your car. It's about $400 a month for that. They give you a gas card, so you're not coming out of your pocket trying to cover those expenses. If you can find a hospice like that, this might work for you. So if you can get $60K and a company car, that might work out. Okay. So yeah, I think those were all your questions, and I hope that this helps. Like I said, I just guess I want to end this video just by saying that this is truly a call. This is not a career choice. And if it is a career choice for you, I think you will be unhappy. And I'm not speaking to chosen one. I'm speaking to anyone who is watching this, because it's going to take a tremendous amount of investment to get in this, but I believe it's worth it. The beauty of this work is worth it. So if you can make it work budgetarily, and if you've got the time to invest in the education, and most importantly, you feel called to this work, it's a beautiful job to have. Hope that helps. Until next time, grace and peace. If y'all have questions like this and you want me just to answer your questions, drop them in the comments. I read every single one of them. Drop them in the comments and I'll do a video for you too. All right, talk to you soon. Grace and peace.